Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? Yes, welcome to the Saturday News. My name is Phil Chambers and I am joined as ever by the incredibly bright Gareth Morgan.
It's summer, man. Embrace it.
Yeah, it is. But before we get going, make sure to like the video, comment below what you think of all of today's stories, subscribe to the channel, and click timestamps in the description to skip ahead to certain stories. My dog is also here. So starting off...
I did not pop, so I didn't see Salty there for a while, and then now, yeah.
I know, yeah. click the video, click the video. Anyway, yeah, a former TNA superstar debuted on WWE TV last night. You may have noticed AJ Styles, he was backstage with an agent producer man, and then he brought him out later on into the arena. And it was, of course, Christopher Joseph Parks, who you will also know as Abyss in TNA. He was out, he was supposedly part of AJ Styles' legal team. And they were kind of doing a thing about how many people deserve to face AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. And it turned out that it was no one. They had a big whiteboard and it was challengers and it was just completely empty. And then obviously out comes Jeff Hardy. Staked his claim for the Intercontinental title and then kind of beat up AJ Styles and just wrote his name on the board in bloody massive letters.
In permanent ink.
In permanent ink. Oh, you pesky man. But yeah, it was Christopher Joseph Parks' first time on WWE TV, but not his first time in WWE. He has been a backstage producer since January 2019, and this just feels very much like AJ Styles wanting to get him on TV, I guess, really, doesn't it? It's like,
yeah.
Well, how about I use you? Remember our thing?
It's a nice little thing for fans who know, like, it's a nice payoff. Do you know what I mean? Like, for like us, for fans who know him, it's a bit like, I know that guy. Whereas just general audiences would just be like, who's this guy? Yeah. Bring his mask back.
Indeed. So yeah, no idea if this is going to be a long-term thing or not, but it's good to have him on TV again.
Yeah, and to be honest, SmackDown was one of those shows where there were a few little nuggets of goodness that we had there. It was I enjoyed it in terms of setup for SummerSlam as well. And another thing that got announced, we had a few things announced for SummerSlam on the show, like I said, but the biggest one, in my opinion, was the announcement that we're going to have a hair versus hair match at SummerSlam between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Let me tell you, Phil, having a hair match, putting your hair on the line at any point is risky business, all right?
Yeah, it is.
Trust me.
Anyone knows.
If anybody knows. So this pulled something. It pulled a string, all right? As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, well, you have no idea what you're signing up for, ladies, all right? This is some big stuff. But to be honest, this is the natural progression. It's something that we saw coming in a weird way, but then I not necessarily saw coming because it still shocked me a little bit that it was happening. But when you sit back, you go, yeah, she's been attacking her hair, but why didn't we see this coming? Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
And Mandy got a really cool promo and she was just like, you think I've had everything handed to me, but I've not actually. And she was really fiery, and Sonya just did some excellent work as well. It was good just seeing, there was a lot of that on SmackDown. There's a lot of people just having promos down the lens, just little pop-ups, and they worked really well. It wasn't necessarily a thing that we've been enjoying, where they've had the stuff at the start and they've had like a full string of people doing it, but they kept popping up, trying new things on SmackDown, and that is what we like.
Indeed. It's been a while since we've had a bald lady on wrestling.
Exactly.
Obviously, Molly Holly did it, and what was
Selena.
her name? Selena in the in the Straight Edge Society thing.
Yeah, she rocked it. It's been a while. Pretty good.
Yeah, she did. So it should be good fun. And yeah, like you say, logical. But speaking of the women's division on SmackDown, we also had the big tri-brand battle royal for the #1 contendership for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship, who, of course, Asuka won. She eliminated Shayna Baszler at the end to become the #1 contender for not only Sasha Banks' Raw Women's Championship, but Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship. So SummerSlam will have Asuka versus Sasha and Asuka versus Bayley. Not entirely sure.
And to be honest, they said you'll never see it coming, which is the SummerSlam tagline now. You know what? We did not see that coming. that caught us off.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where they're going with this. Is Asuka going to beat them twice or beat one of them? You've got to think she's taking the belt off one of them.
Could she be Asuka 2 belts? They've got a thing right now with people carrying multiple belts.
They have. And that'd be the ultimate thing to shove in Bayley and Sasha's face, wouldn't it? I've seen some people complaining about them not using enough of the women in this feud. I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of logical. This is the only real storyline that Bayley and Sasha are in, feud against Asuka. So I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
And if she gets one of the belts off and not the other one, then at least that's separating one of the belts, so that can go on to do other things. So they're getting there. But yeah, I kind of like this, to be honest. It was also announced, Bayley and Sasha were also in the ring saying that their tag titles are going to be up for, they're going to be defending them, at the Payback pay-per-view, which is going to be August 30th, the week after SummerSlam.
It should be called Back to Back. It should not be called Payback. And even Michael Cole, when he was talking about it on the announce desk, it was just a bit like, yeah, we got another one. You get 2 for the price of 1 if you come onto the WWE Network today. Yeah. Oh, it's weird. It's very weird.
WWE going pay-per-view crazy, it seems.
Why not? But in terms of SmackDown as well, just another big story that we had coming out of SmackDown. It was just the show that keeps on giving. We had the return of everyone's favourite masked sensation, Kalisto. I actually really like Kalisto, so I was buzzing when he came in. He looked a bit like Ultimo Dragon with his new mask that he had on, his little white gloves and everything. And I don't think he's been on WWE television. I think he got injured in December, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but he's, again, it's the Lucha House Party getting a lot of TV time recently, which has been great because it's more blood in that tag division, which is a very
and they're all
thin
really
tag
bloody
division.
good.
Yeah, exactly. And if they all keep getting these little singles runs, not runs necessarily, but these little single showcases, like we saw Grand Metalik take on Nakamura, and he had a decent match with him on SmackDown. We get to see a bit more of him in that sense. Yeah, I'm happy with that because I felt like he was not necessarily wasted on 205 Live, but he'd already had a decent little run on the main roster, and it was a bit like, just demoted
like a backward step.
Yeah, a bit like what happened with Chad Gable when he got sent down for a little bit. It was a bit like he's still got something to offer, and yeah, I'm happy to see Kalisto back.
Yep, absolutely, me too. But yeah, it'd be good to see what they do with all of Lucha House Party. They have definitely been giving them more screen time, which I think is good. They've been there for ages now, and they've not done anything with them really, and they are all very, very talented wrestlers, so it'd be good to see them do a bit more.
Yeah, they did a very heelish thing though. They stole the belts, by the way, on SmackDown, which I'm not for that. I'm not advocating that, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. And the final note about SmackDown, just an interesting little tidbit at the end, is that it was rated TV-14. It wasn't PG. Now, there's absolutely no word on whether this is a one-off thing or whether it's just something to do with the way that they're filming them prior to the thing, so they get to rate them before they actually go on TV, whereas obviously it used to be just a blanket thing that they accept that it's going to be TV PG. But yeah, is this the end of the PG era? Who knows? Is it a one-off? Is it just a thing that allows them to say bitch a few more times? Because they really do seem to love doing that.
Bitch and bastard, really, isn't it? That's what we're getting a lot of.
Who knows? But I guess we're going to find out.
I mean, I don't know. I can't smell the return of the Attitude Era. It's not really going that way. And judging on that episode of SmackDown in particular, I'm not too sure why that one was a TV-14. There wasn't anything
they've definitely done more graphic things and more like sweary things on other shows recently, and they've been PG.
I think it was just to see if we'd notice, and we have, so now what?
Yeah, maybe. Are you paying attention? Yes, we are, WWE. Of course we are. We pay attention to bloody everything. So yeah, I guess we'll wait and see what happens with this. But we don't normally do this on the Saturday News, but I thought we'd bring it back because I had a couple of people asking why we don't do it. So it's Twitter questions!
Yes!
So I have a couple here. First one is from Carl at Sidburn19, who says, now that The Fiend has attacked Alexa, will we see her turn from babyface to heel again, or will we see her become a female version of The Fiend, brackets Sister Abigail, and start feuding with Nikki Cross? What do you think?
I'd like to see a feud with Nikki Cross, and whatever gets us to that, I'm here for. And obviously the Sister Abigail thing's just been teased to the point now where it's just become a parody of itself in a weird way. Judging on what we saw on SmackDown, she seems conflicted still. She showed a bit of fire in the stuff with Braun, but I think she definitely came across as more of a babyface in that exchange that she had with Braun. It was very odd. But again, it was odd in a good way because it just felt like something we've not seen before. I'd like to see her. Yeah. I think I would like to see her as a Sister Abigail type character, but we've got our hopes up before, haven't we?
We have indeed. It would be interesting. I don't think they're going to go down the full Sister Abigail route, but obviously there's a thing where you get involved with The Fiend and he reverts you back to your previous character, and her previous character is definitely heel, predominantly. So it'd be interesting if they use this as a way to turn her. But like you say, she definitely seems to have, like, she's almost the one who's getting, like, into the soft side of the Fiend, if that makes sense. Like,
and I mean, if characters revert back to the former selves when they fight with the Fiend, was Braun bald? I can't remember Braun being bald. That was that was a shock. That was a big shock on SmackDown.
Was indeed. All baldness everywhere. Next question comes from Dante3000 at KingTay89. He says, even though Asuka has been amazing lately, was she the right choice to win the Battle Royal with 2 matches that she's in alongside the double champs? That's taking away from other female competitors. How awesome would Bianca Belair have been in this spot?
She would have been very awesome in that spot. I agree. I completely agree. But she is involved in her own little thing on Raw as well. And I mean, that's in that logic, like Asuka's obviously...
She's got poisoning to deal with.
Yeah, her husband's been poisoned. Come on. Asuka, like you said earlier on in the news today, Asuka's been involved with both these stars, like Bayley and Sasha. And I think there's a bit more to do with this now. If she takes one of those belts away, it has a knock-on effect to the Bayley-Sasha thing. One of them's now beltless, and hopefully... if they did lose a belt, it'd be because the other one got involved, something like that, and it just...
That's the thing, you know, they're both going to be involved in each other's matches, and then if one of them loses it and the other one doesn't, then it brings the jealousy back in, and yeah.
And do you not think introducing someone new, introducing like a Shayna Baszler or Bianca Belair, it'd be great, it'd be really good, getting a bit of a SummerSlam spotlight, but it'd just be convoluting things a bit more, because it's like, okay, they don't have a previous story, do they?
Especially with the Shayna Baszler thing, like they've been teasing things with Asuka and Shayna Baszler on Raw, and now Asuka was the one to eliminate Shayna Baszler from this, so they're layering up that to eventually go there, which I assume Asuka's gonna win the belt off Sasha, and then they'll go to Asuka versus Shayna Baszler down the line. So it's not like they're completely forgetting about where this can go after this storyline. But I mean, this Bayley and Sasha thing is by far the biggest storyline in the women's division at the minute. And both of those two have been absolutely brilliant at it. So, yeah, I'm kind of okay with them just having everything. I know it's bad, but...
And I mean, I'm going to be a bit upset when they do eventually implode, because we're not going to get great ring announcing like we had on SmackDown, because that was just spectacular. They had a bit of a ring announcement section where they... I think they just booted the person out the ring. They were like, right, we can do it. We can do everyone's jobs. Let's do it. Yeah, I love it. I love them. They're great.
Yep. So yeah, that has been the Saturday news. Thank you very much for joining us. I am choking as I'm talking. I have been Phil Chambers. You can follow me on Twitter at PhilMyChambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04, and I'll have plenty of pictures with me in a luminous vest.
Very, very, very summery. Too summery, some might say.
Who would say that, Phil?
I would definitely say that, Gareth.
God damn you, Phil.
To your face right now. You can follow everyone at WhatCulture WWE. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below what you think of all of today's news stories. But most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day. Goodbye.